Dear students, welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll see the history of classification. As you know that everything has got its roots in the past, so this biological classification also finds its roots in the history. We'll see here the contribution of Aristotle and another Arab zoologist, and then we'll see 2 kingdom, 3 kingdom and 4 kingdom classification. So let's start the video. Well, history of classification of living organisms start from the Greek period. And Aristotle was a very famous Greek philosopher. He is also known as the father of taxonomy because of his contribution in the field of taxonomy and biological classification. Besides this, he is also known as father of science because he contributed in the field of science which is so diverse, and besides this, he also contributed in different fields like education, economics, politics, and what's not. But here we are concerned with taxonomy, so you'll see his contribution with respect to taxonomy. So Aristotle classified the organisms by type. He also gave the concept of binomial definition. We'll see the concept of binomial nomenclature in detail in the next video. But for your information, I just wanted to tell you that Aristotle was the man who gave the concept of binomial nomenclature. Well, Aristotle wrote a book, Historia Animalium, as the name is indicating that this book is about the history of animals. Since we know that Aristotle classified the organisms, so he actually classified the organisms on 2 different bases. So we'll see here. He grouped animals into different groups on the basis of animals with blood and animals without blood. The other basis for his classification was animals that live in water and animals that live on land. So this was a short description of the contribution of Aristotle in the field of taxonomy. We'll see the contribution of Abu Usman Umar al-Jahiz. He was an Arab zoologist. Well, this zoologist actually examined the internal organs of the organisms, of the animals. So for this sake, he dissected the animal bodies, he slaughtered animals and studied their internal organs. So he was examining the anatomy. Besides this, Abu Usman Umar al-Jahiz, he also dissected the pregnant female bodies of the animals, and there he found out the number and location of embryos that are found inside the animals. Obviously they were females, and he wrote a book, Kitab al-Haywan. In his book he mentioned different kinds of animals, their behavioral characteristics, and even he presented about different diseases that are common in animals, and he also suggested certain treatments. So he has also got his valuable contribution in the field of taxonomy, in the field of classification. Now we'll see 2 kingdom classification. So here the living organisms are classified into 2 kingdoms, plant kingdom and animal kingdom. The basis for their classification was the cell wall. So when the scientists examined the structure of the cell, so they found out that the organisms in which the cell wall was present, they are plants and they were categorized under plant kingdom, while all those organisms in which cell wall was absent, so they were categorized as animals and they were placed under the animal kingdom. Other features or characteristics that were examined were locomotion. So the movement, if the locomotion was present, then they were categorized as animals, and in case of plants the locomotion was absent. Response to external stimuli, like there are many: light, gravity, temperature. So response to external stimuli was there in plants, but it was slow. However, in case of animals, it was very fast. Mode of nutrition. Like, you know, plants are autotrophs, so they do not eat, they do not have any food requirement, they do not eat the food physically, since they make it with the help of photosynthesis, so they do not eat. So all those organisms that do not eat, they are known as plants, and they were categorized under the plant kingdom, while all those animals that feed by different modes, like, you know, that animals are heterotrophs. So the organisms that eat their food, they are known as animals, and they were categorized under the animal kingdom. The conductile and conductile system for transportation and for the movement, it was absent in plants. So all the organisms that don't have conductile and conductile system, they were put under the plant kingdom, while those in which it was present, they were termed as animals and placed under the animal kingdom. So which organisms were included in plant kingdom? So they were bacteria, algae, fungi, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. And animal kingdom included invertebrates, including protozoa and vertebrate. Protozoa are unicellular organisms, but they are eukaryote. Then three kingdom classification concept was given by Ernst Haeckel. Since you know that in 1930 there was much advancement seen, microscope was invented, and there were different modernization that were happening in that period. So Ernst Haeckel gave the concept of three kingdom classification, and you know that there were two kingdoms, animal kingdom and plant kingdom. He gave another kingdom which is known as kingdom Protista, and in kingdom Protista he categorized two different groups. One was of lower protists and the other was of higher protists. So lower protists, they were prokaryotic unicellular, like they were single celled, and they were prokaryote since they did not possess the true nucleus, like their nuclear material was not enveloped by a nuclear membrane. So lower protists included bacteria and cyanobacteria. However, higher protists, they all were eukaryotic, unicellular or multicellular organisms like fungi, algae, except blue-green algae. Later, Herbert Faulkner Copeland in 1956, he divided the living beings into four kingdoms: kingdom Monera, that was a new one, kingdom Protista, kingdom Metaphyta, and kingdom Metazoa. So kingdom Monera included all the lower protists, those protists that were prokaryotes, and they included bacteria and blue-green algae. Kingdom Protista, it included the higher protists, that is the eukaryotic protists, and they included algae and fungi. So all the higher protists, they were categorized under kingdom Protista. And what were the organisms that were included in kingdom Protista? They were algae and fungi. So the other kingdom is kingdom Metaphyta, that includes multicellular eukaryotic plants. And as you know, all the multicellular eukaryotic plants, they are bryophytes, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, and angiosperm. The fourth kingdom was kingdom Metazoa, and this includes all the eukaryotic multicellular animals. So the invertebrates and vertebrates are the examples of the organisms that were included in kingdom Metazoa. Well, this is it. If you have any question, then you can ask in the comment section. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.